Grant Matthews, Bleacher Report, Fansided, Daily DDT. My man, how you doing?
Doing well, Mr. Randy Cruz. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. We are doing this live on Twitter and on YouTube. Thursday, December 5th, 2024. Follow my man Graham on social media at WrestleRant. Follow myself, Randy J. Cruz, Rendy, letter JCRUZ. Find the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also on Amazon Music. And go to youtube.com/Cruise Control Podcast. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show us some love and support for your boys on the program. Again, we are doing this live. So if you got any questions, comments regarding Survivor Series, Raw, SmackDown, anything above regarding wrestling, hit us up in the chat and we'll get right to it. Again, on live on YouTube and on Twitter/X. So, Graham, um, it's been a week since I had you on. Um, my other co-host for the show, my boy Kenny's been coming on just about every Monday night or Friday night whenever we can, just to chop it up, kind of keep the gap closer to what we do as far as covering wrestling. But we did have a lot going on last week. We had Survivor Series. We had a SmackDown, Survivor Series, Raw. Gonna have main event coming up in the next week or so in Long Island. But the first thing I want to mention is the fact that, again, new rumors. Take it for what it's worth. That as of right now, as of December 5th, there are no plans for The Rock to appear or wrestle at WrestleMania 41 in Vegas. Obviously, everybody in the world is waiting for The Rock and Roman to happen. But you know, I think when it comes to The Rock, it's going to be a shaky path to get to where we want to get at. Things could change, obviously, but as of right now, there are no plans for The Rock at 41. Are you in the camp of I think he may not appear, or the fact that they just don't know what to do with him right now, or does he have a scheduling conflict before WrestleMania?
I think that he will end up being there. I don't think they can officially advertise him or say that he will be there in the case that he's not, because he has a
Mhm.
lot going on. When it is a scheduling conflict, and I do think it is a scheduling conflict, it is funny when you hear that, just because did The Rock not say about a year ago, we haven't done Rock and Roman. It's not a scheduling thing. It's a matter of it making sense sort of thing. And obviously, they had their opportunity to do it this past year. They did not. Thankfully, they did not. That would have been the wrong call.
Mhm.
The timing would have been terrible. They pivoted, the infamous pivot, and it was the right call. But at this point, it's like, are we ever getting fucking Rock and Roman? Like, it wasn't even looking like we were going to get it at WrestleMania anyway. Like, I know we've talked about it, and I want to see it at WrestleMania in Vegas. I've been of
Mhm.
the mindset since April that we were getting Rock and Cody next. I thought it
Mhm.
could be at SummerSlam. Obviously, that did not happen. The Rumble is a possibility. Could they be keeping it under wraps and we actually get it there in 2 months? Yes. I don't think that's the case. I think if Rock wrestles, it's at WrestleMania. WrestleMania or bust. Um, I know they're operating under the idea that he won't be there, which is good, because if they operate under the idea that he is there and then he can't show up and then everything goes up in flames, no match that they do for Mania makes sense. Hopefully they can do whatever they have lined up without Rock makes sense, where they go to Rock instead. Like,
Mhm.
for what I'm saying is, like, if they were to plant seeds now, let's say for Cody and Randy, which they've already planted seeds anyway in the last 6 months, that's a match you don't have to do at WrestleMania 41. You could, and I think it'd be great if they did, but you can always save that for down the road, because they've been building towards that for a while, and not like building towards it, but like planting the idea that it could happen, planting the seed of that match for a future event, not necessarily WrestleMania. If they were to start right now and like have fucking, I don't know, Jacob Fatu, which we've already seen him with the bloodline, I don't want to see that again. But like,
Mhm.
if you say, kind of like, if you have Jacob Fatu win the Rumble, for example, and they set up Cody and Jacob Fatu, and that's not for another 2 months with the Rumble. So hopefully by that point they would know if Rock's going to be there. You kind of have to commit by the Rumble.
Yeah.
Um, by then we don't know, and then it's like, well, Rock's like, well, I'm ready to come back now, and then you're in the exact same position as last year, where you
Mhm.
had Cody win the Rumble, and then he was never going to win it, where he was never going to go after the championship in Mania. That shit made no fucking sense. We cannot do that again. We cannot revolve everything around one man, no matter how big of a draw he is in The Rock. You got to go forward with marquee matches, but also shit that makes sense and not fucking slap your viewers in the face. So all of that to say, I do think he will end up being there, But just with how unpredictable he's been in the past, I don't think they can officially say or advertise him in the case that he does not appear, which has happened a lot, it seems, in the last decade.
So in my theory, again, this is December 5th. WrestleMania is not till mid-April now. Um, I think because I think there's a report that The Rock and Cody have filmed some stuff during this movie premiere. The Rock, what's the movie?
Moana 2.
Moana 2.
Yeah.
So there's a story that Cody and The Rock filmed something during that. What is that? We have no idea if it's true or not or whatever. So I think, tell me if I'm wrong. Right now, there's no plans for The Rock because they just don't know what to do with him because there's a lot of activity going on when it comes to Cody and Roman Reigns, where they just don't know what direction to go into, which is a good problem to have. Because this could be a smokescreen. Hey, everybody wants Rock and Roman, right? But also we can deliver on Rock and Cody because that's a story that before The Rock left at the WrestleMania, he told Cody, whatever, I'm coming back for you, whatever, we're gonna finish our thing. He comes back in bad blood, doesn't say shit. He looks at Cody and Roman. We don't know if he's looking at Roman and Cody at the same time or like he's doing this 1, 2, 3 for Cody. So it could be a smokescreen. Like they want him involved. He wants to be involved, but they just don't know they want to give him Roman or Cody at WrestleMania.
I think they would have to give him Cody first. You don't do that. That's why I hate that they did that segment. And it was a good segment on the night after WrestleMania, on that Raw after Mania where Rock
Yeah.
confronted Cody. I keep saying I don't think you do that without Cody being the first person that he goes after when he comes back. I don't think you do Roman and Rock and then go to Cody. Like Roman and Rock is the bigger attraction. And I say this as if Rock has like fucking 10 matches left in him. Like if we only get Rock and Cody and then Rock and Roman and that's it,
Mhm.
I'm totally content with that.
Yeah.
He would probably do more. We might get 2 Rock and Roman matches. Maybe Rock wins the first one. I don't know. But you got to do Cody and Rock. And that's probably why Cody will be champion still by Mania, whether he's facing Randy, which is fine because like Cody can be the champion going into that. Randy doesn't have to be the defending champion.
Yeah.
I think Rock and Cody is the match. You got to do that first. Does it have to happen at Mania? In my opinion, no. But I think they do feel like, and he specifically feels like he's not gonna wrestle on anything but WrestleMania. I feel like, and I
Mhm.
would like to be wrong. I was wrong last year. I didn't think he'd come back at all, and then he did, and they pivoted. Like we've all been wrong before, and I would happy to be wrong. I just don't think
Yeah.
that he's gonna wrestle at the fucking Rumble or the Elimination Chamber in that stadium where they're doing it in Canada. I think it's in Toronto. I'm pretty sure. Oh,
Yes,
this I
Toronto.
don't
Yes,
actually.
Toronto. Yeah.
And he was on that last Stadium Toronto Mania back at 18 with Hogan. So, I mean, you're not going to do Rock and Roman there, obviously. Rock and Cody would be a great main event for that show. And then could you do that? And then Rock and Roman at Mania? I mean, that's
Mhm.
possible too. A lot of different directions. I think they have an idea of what to do. They just don't know if they can actually do it because Rock's not being like, yeah, I can do it. Even though, again, one that I don't know why the fuck he said to Pat McAfee, oh, yeah, it's not a scheduling thing. I control the schedule. Well, if you control the schedule, then stop taking up these projects for fucking Moana 2 and 3 and Red 1 and all this other nonsense and fucking come back, do the match, and go away. It's ridiculous.
You're very. I feel the passion this
I
morning,
love The
Grant.
Rock. Listen, I love me some Dwayne Johnson. I go see these movies. I saw Moana 2. I saw Red 1. I support the vision. But you can't be
Okay.
pulling this bullshit like you're the most important person in the world, being like everything is waiting on him, dude. Like everything is on hold until he comes back. It has been this way for a fucking decade, for a 10-year span now, where we thought we were getting Rock and Roman 6 years ago. Every year, are we getting it? Or are we not getting it? Are we getting it? Or are
Yeah.
we not getting it? Like, we need to fucking move on from this guy. Like, do the match, get it over with. And I'm looking forward to it. And he's only getting older, too. So it's only going to be worse as we go along here.
And I think that's why fans are upset because they feel like, again, if you want to rewind the tape, they felt, damn, I had it in my hand last year. Right? It was there.
I
It was
get it.
right there.
Yeah. That
And
was like the
then
worst year to do it, to be honest, though. You could not do Rock and Roman. And then what the fuck was going to happen? Rock was going to win the belt. That would have been terrible. And Roman couldn't have retained again.
I mean, you could have did Rock and Roman night 1, then Cody and Rock and Roman night 2.
You could have, but I think the way they did it, even though to me at the time was not ideal,
Yeah.
because I think the focus I think a lot of people forget going into Mania this year, that Cody Rock match, a Cody Roman match in night two was one of the best in that company's history for the storytelling alone and the finish and
Mhm.
the cameos and all that other shit.
Yeah.
The build itself was not great. The build
Mhm.
for the tag team match was better. The
Yeah.
build for Roman and Cody was kind of non-existent because Rock was showing up every week and he was like the best part of the fucking show. We didn't really get much of Cody and Roman actually together. It sold itself at that point, but like they didn't really build towards it. Like if you were to do a video package for that match,
Yeah.
there's really not much from the road to WrestleMania 40 that you can kind of rely on. It was more about Cody and The Rock. That
Mhm.
kind of overshadowed Cody and Roman. So that's why I didn't really like it. And I've said this, I said this a year ago. I said this 2 years ago. I didn't really like the idea of doing Cody Rock night one, Cody Roman night two, because I feel like it would take away, not Cody Rock, I'm sorry, Roman Rock.
Yeah.
Roman and Rock is their bigger attraction. They were never going to put that on night one. I'm actually kind of shocked that Rock wrestled night one this year and not on night two, but he still showed up on night two. So I don't know. I they could have done that. I'm glad they didn't. I think it worked out for the better, but now we have to follow it up accordingly.
Yeah, because before I move on, I think Roman's path Roman's path for the next couple of months could involve like Solo, could involve Jacob Fatu. Then it's
Mhm.
like, all right, I gotta get through. Then there's a possible Cody Roman 3
Yep.
that we have to finalize. Then you get The Rock. So it's like obviously I've been saying this for months. It's Vegas, it's big match feel, big card. The main event should be Rock and Roman. But if you don't get there because of whatever reason, more so on the Rock side, because Roman's gonna be there.
Yeah, Roman's
Um,
going to be there. Cody's going
if
to be
you,
there.
It's right. Cody's a fighting champion. Um, if you get Rock and Cody, I don't think that's a bad plan B because and listen, I'm already seeing Rock is the favorite to win the Rumble. And like is the Rock gonna be in the Royal Rumble? Is it's gonna be number 30? And if he does enter it, and if he does win it, that's the path he gets to Cody Rhodes. Like what they've been doing recently has been changing a lot of our thought process. And I'm like, okay, so you kind of like changing that, you're swerving us in a good way. Like, oh, okay, we're not going by the book of what everybody's been trying to say online. So I think they know that and they're trying to like switch a couple things up. So as of right now, I don't know what Cody's doing in Mania. I don't know what Roman's doing. I don't know what Punk is doing. I don't know what anybody's doing, but all we could do is speculate.
Yeah, listen, I'm just here to enjoy the ride, and I'm not here solely to say, like, I think it's a nice thing that we don't officially know because we're not supposed to know. It's only December. I get it. But it's not a case of like, oh, trust the process. It's all going to work out. There's been a lot of manias where they've booked a lot of fucking terrible shit. And I know
Yeah.
Triple H is in charge now. That didn't change anything last year, dude. When Triple H was in complete creative control after Vince was booted the week before the Rumble, they were still going to do Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. The pivot is real. I don't think that was ever the plan. I think they absolutely pivoted because they knew Rock and Roman would have gotten shit on in Philly if they did that match.
Yeah.
I don't know why in the fucking first place they thought that was a good idea. That was so dumb to have Rock come out and take Cody's title shot. That whole thing was off. That they don't even have an explanation that we still do not know in storyline for all the documentaries that we've gone in interviews. Cody still has not explained in storyline why he would just give up his fucking title match and then a week later be like, you know what? Never mind. I kind of want it back. That was so dumb. So they have to avoid that again. It's not just a case of like, we're fans. We can't speculate. Like
Yeah.
we can speculate all we fucking want. And I'm just kind of worried they might do the wrong thing because this company's track record, whether it be Vince or Triple H, they have shown they don't always do the wrong thing, but there's been several occasions where they have, especially last year. So why not
Mhm.
avoid that disaster altogether by doing what people want to see and what makes sense?
Yeah.
So I hope it works out. I hope Rock can make up his fucking mind and figure out whether he's coming back or not. And if he wants to prioritize wrestling and the
Yeah.
final boss shit or Moana 3 and all the other projects he's got going on right now.
But if it were up to you, you would do Rock and Roman 41.
I mean, personally, you would have to do you got to do Cody and Rock first. You have to. So
Mhm.
if it were up to me, and it's probably a little late now, but I mean, it's only early December, so maybe not. If it was up to me, I would do Cody and Rock probably at the Rumble. I say a chamber. I feel like that's too close, but then again, Mania is in like April fucking 20th this year, so you got a lot of time.
Mhm.
You got to do Rock and Cody first, and then Roman maybe intentionally, unintentionally costing the match. I don't know. and you do Roman and Rock at WrestleMania. You could wait another year. I just feel like it's too long. Anything can change. Roman can get hurt. He could go off and do movies. Rock could be doing Jumanji 7. Like, we don't know what's going to go on. So yes, I would do Rock and Roman at Mania 41. But you got to do Cody and Rock first at like the Rumble or Chamber. Oh, the Raw on Netflix would be awesome too, but I don't think Rock is wrestling on fucking Raw. But you know what? Stranger things have happened.
See, my thing is this: if you're trying to say, all right, Roman, Rock, Cody, Rumble, Roman helps Cody win by interference, you got to explain why would Roman do that in the first place. We have no story that shows they're not on the same page.
No, I agree. Yeah,
So it's like, oh, Roman
I
comes
just threw that
out
out there. Yeah,
and all right, you fucking with me because what? Like what I do? Like I ain't do shit
yeah.
to you. So it's like so that's part of the story they got to explain. Where's the disconnect between Rock and Roman is? Then you go from there because I mean you got a couple months to make it happen. I mean I still want Rock and Roman, but I think if you were to do Cody and The Rock at 41 for Cody's belt, not Rock's People's Championship.
Fuck that shit. Fuck that paperweight.
It could be title for title.
Fuck that shit. No one gives a shit. Yeah, man. I don't know. They could figure it out. We'll see.
I was trying to find some shirts to wear this morning, right? And then I come across it's gonna make sense. I come across this shirt, right?
Oh no.
Right? This is the New Day.
You have a tear go stream across your face after that? Because I did.
Yeah. I came across this New Day shirt.
Yep.
I bought this, I believe, the day after WrestleMania 35.
I was gonna say that looks like a 2019 shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, it says new champ on it. It's the only New Day shirt that I own. And you fast forward to 2024 and the New Day. It's a new day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is because on Raw we thought Kofi was gonna turn or Xavier was gonna turn, but they turned on Big E instead. I think that was something that most did not think that Big E would be. Big E could be involved, but not like this.
Yeah.
But now there's a lot of questions. One for you. What did you make of the New Day turning heel but keeping the tag team together? And then B, does this give you an inclination that Big E could be somehow involved in a ring going forward because now Woods and Kofi have turned on him?
I thought the angle was excellent. I thought the way they did it was great. Definitely not the way I thought they would go. I still would have wanted to see Kofi and Xavier do their own thing.
Yeah.
Does it feel not random? I mean, yeah, I guess random is the right word. Is it random that they went from beefing for months and then as soon as Big E comes out, they are both pissed at him to the point where like they're willing to put their own issues aside and fucking turn heel because they have a mutual disdain for their best friend of 10 years. I mean, yes, that was definitely random. Not random, but like it came out of nowhere. And that was the point. It was supposed to shock you. It did, and it's interesting. I just think it's weird. I don't know if we said this the last time we spoke, but like I still think it's a little weird that Xavier would be like, or Kofi had said to Xavier, yeah, the only reason you weren't ever world champion like me or E is because you weren't good enough. And then it kind of makes you think, okay, then Woods is going to go off on his own, prove himself. And whether they break up or they
Yeah.
just have like a mutual divorce, like what the direction they were going in on Raw this week, where it looked like, okay, we're going to break up, like it's a fucking relationship, and go our separate ways. So maybe Woods can prove himself on his own, maybe on SmackDown.
Yeah.
But no, they're sticking together just as heels, which is fine. It's better. It's better than if Big E came back and what they teased originally of Big E coming back and saying, "I'm going to manage you guys until you got back on the on the right track." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And listen, that would have been better than what we have now. Big E being back would have been cool, like as a manager. But what's the end game there? Them as babyface tag team champions again. Been there, done that. No, I don't need to see that again. So what they did instead was better. Because it does set up the possibility of Big E maybe coming back, like you said. And am I more optimistic now than I was before about him coming back? Yes. I do think if he were to come back, I don't think it's like a full-on run. It could be. I would love to see it. I think he would probably come back either for a one-off or like a very sporadic in-ring schedule where he's wrestling once in a while. I think that's probably more likely just with the I mean, he's been out for a long time. That's a pretty serious neck injury. So, but then
Yeah.
again, I thought the same thing about Edge, and Edge ended up coming back and working fucking TV matches and shit. So we don't really know. But I think it's hard for them to put in that line in that segment on Raw this week where they go, let's stop teasing people. You're never going to be cleared, E. And it's hard to put that in there and then not get people's hopes up for that eventual match, feud,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, it is an interesting indicator. They did not attack him. If they attacked him, then it's like, okay, then he's definitely cleared or close
Mhm.
to it, because why would he get physical? He didn't get physical. They just like pushed him away. So I don't think he's at all remotely cleared, but I feel like they might be optimistically thinking that he could be. So I thought the angle was great. We haven't seen heel New Day in a long time. And it's got to be a New Day, like you said. Like, it's got to be new music, no bullshit, maybe
Yeah.
even a new name, totally different repackaging. It cannot be the same shit. We've seen them as heels before, but they were goofy ass heels with like the bootios and stuff, which was entertaining. They can't be doing that shit. They have a lot of heat coming off that segment on Monday. They got to capitalize on that by being a heel team. Again, the end game here has to be a feud with Big E. But if they're not doing that for a long time, what do you do with them next is the question, which is what I'm kind of focusing on here. And I would hope maybe we could see more of them together, but doing single stuff. Because, like, what do
Mhm.
they do as a tag team? We have Balor and JD McDonough as the tag team champions. We're just fucking awful. They have not defended those things at all, but they're heel champions. So I don't think New Day beats them. Them and the War Raiders, again, been there, done that. So I think if they go off and do their single stuff, maybe feud with like a Jey Uso or like a fucking
Mhm.
Rollins or a Sami Zayn, that would be interesting to me.
A few things. I think one with the New Day segment. I think again, if you were watching live and got the social media reaction, a lot of people were like really upset, like sad, like oh shit, this is what they're really doing to Big E. And I think the fact that the things that they said to Big E, like oh yeah, you broke your neck, so what? Edge came back, Stone
Yeah, it
Cold
was
came back,
crazy. Yeah.
Kurt Angle came back, like, yo, what's up, man? We're taking you so long, then you left us, like, oh, and it's not that, like, that might sound like something that Woods might say, but to hear Kofi say that, it's like,
Hmm.
oh shit, like, damn, bro, they're really going all in, like, so what? And then he tweets out later on, so what? Like, just seeing that, and I think the fact that you mentioned one off, this is a one off, like, let's say I think it could have been a pivot with this, where like, you know what, I don't want Kofi bad guy or Woods bad guy. Let's us be the bad guys together and go against Big E, because I think there's more value, there's more story in that. So now
Hmm.
we're all thinking, okay, you're saying not a run, but if Big E said, listen, I might have one more match in my career, I'm gonna risk everything, to be in the ring with these guys at a WrestleMania? Can I do a triple threat? Can I do something like that where I'm in the same ring with Xavier and Kofi and a Mania? After that, I'm done, because
Hmm.
I'm not trying to risk anything else. And if that's the plan, if that's the path, then I can see why they made this pivot. Because yeah, I want to see Xavier on his own. I want to see Kofi on his own. But I think, as you mentioned, new branding, repackage, no new theme song, new outfits. It's like the Usos. The Usos were wearing the
Hmm.
colorful stuff after a while, and then you know what? One day, oh shit, new music. Is like more hip hop vibe. Like okay, and
Yeah.
that's what they needed, and the New Day needed something. And this could
Hmm.
be that something where, all right, if you're gonna be assholes and be those heels, I wanna see you guys totally brand new, not with the colorful shit going forward.
The Usos are a great example because they've been around for 14 fucking years. Like, if you think the New Day's been around for a long time, the Usos debuted in this company. I mean, they obviously split up a year ago and they just reunited, and they're not like a
Yeah,
full-time tag team now. But they've been around now as a team on and off for 14 fucking years. And they didn't split for 13 years. They
that's
would
crazy.
not be here or be remotely as successful unless they did that switch up back in 2016, 2017, where they turned heel and did a completely different thing. And they weren't just heels doing the same entrance and the same shtick and shit.
Yeah.
They, like you said, yeah, much better music, much better gear. Promos improved tenfold. Matches got better. Storylines were amazing. The bloodline was incredible for them. And that was another thing too. Like, they turned heel about 8 years ago, but and then they also went back to being baby faces because people liked them so much. It was the
Mhm.
bloodline that then elevated them to the next level. So
Yeah.
the New Day, if they've been around doing the same shit for a decade now, literally 10 years, they could, I'm not even kidding, get another 10 years out of this. If they were to turn heel now and completely switch it up and not go back to the Budio stuff for a long time. And then also, too, we're getting that New Day reunion at some point. So like that's another moment you can build to too. That was a moment on Monday. You can
Yeah.
build that down the road, whether Biggie wrestles or not. He can make the save, they can hug, whatever the hell it is. But that can be years down the road. There is so much storyline potential with them doing what they did, as opposed to just sticking together. We're a happy-go-lucky group till the end, which would have been nice because we haven't seen that at all from any team ever. It seems like. But it was boring. Like they were boring for a long time, and now
Yeah.
they're finally interesting again. That was one of the best segments on Raw. I don't know about ever. I mean, it was certainly up there. It was fucking great. And it reminded me a lot of that Festival of Friendship that Jericho and Owens did back in
Yeah.
2017. Very similar in that sense.
Hmm.
I'm very excited to see where they go with this from here. And hopefully they capitalize on it and don't flush it down the toilet by having them
True.
lose to the fucking Alpha Academy again or some shit.
Our boy Noob hoping for a Woods as a singles wrestler. He should go after the IC title.
Hopefully they could still do that. Hopefully they can.
Hmm.
I don't know if they could split up in the draft. I mean, it would be weird if they were on Monday saying, yeah, we're in this together. And then they go their separate ways, like they get put on separate shows.
Yeah.
That would be odd. But like I said, I think it's more interesting to see them as singles, solo heels together without
Yeah.
breaking up together than it is them as a babyface tag team or just a heel tag team. Because again, they've already won the tag titles a million times. Even them as heels winning the tag titles, I just don't really. That's interesting and all, but like I'd
Yeah.
rather see Kofi go after the US title or the WWE title or whatever. Who's the champion right now? Gunther, so probably not Gunther right now,
Hmm.
but like them in like Cody or something, if you build them up enough, that would be interesting if they go to
Yeah.
SmackDown. So yeah, anything can happen. We'll see.
I I I I I I mentioned on Monday night too that the fact that um their segment was at like 9 o'clock
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
kind of made me feel like, okay, so they may not do like a heel turn kind
Mm-hmm.
of vibe, because if that was the end all be all, that would have
You
been
close the show.
that
Yeah.
would close the show. But they closed it with Seth and Sami Zayn. So I'm like, okay, something's gonna go on here. We'll see. It might be something lighter, and then
Yeah.
we got what we got, and it just you know begs the question, like, what do you like? I think the setup, if this is WrestleMania worthy, I think what they could do is have obviously Kofi and Woods in the Rumble, and then Big E is in the Rumble,
Oh my God. Yeah, that'd be
and
incredible. Could
then
you imagine?
eliminates both Kofi and Woods.
Oh my God. Yeah. That would be, dude. If Biggie made his return in the Rumble, people would lose their shit. That would be nuts. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be incredible.
Oh, come on. I'm not saying he's got to go Shawn Michaels 95 in the Rumble for an hour. I'm just
Well, you
saying,
still
like,
got to be cleared, though. I mean, they can't put him in the ring if he has a broken neck and he can't do any. Like I said, they didn't even get physical with him on Monday. They didn't even touch him.
no, but then my thing is this: 3, 2, 1, and Biggie runs out.
Yeah,
He goes for Kofi. He goes for Woods. Clothesline. Both get out, and Big E is the one initiating the contact. They're not hitting him back. So like he's
but then
doing
how does
all
he
of
get
that.
out?
So they can't touch him until they go to the back and they start fighting, and then you're done. They're like, oh shit, then that was the hell just happened.
No, I
So
know, but like, well, you can't do that, but then not do a match at Mania. So he has to be cleared in the next 2 months.
no,
He would also have to then be eliminated from the Rumble too. He can't just like. I mean, I guess he could
nah,
leave,
he
but
he
like,
don't care. He don't care.
he doesn't care. I mean, hey, I guess not.
Listen, Curtis Axel was still eligible from 2015
Axelmania.
16.
Yeah, that's true. He's still
He's
technically
still
the
not
2015
eliminated
Rumble
from
winner. Yeah.
exactly. So if you're gonna do that, I mean, there's ways to do it, but I think you got to start the Rumble to make it seem, oh, now they're gonna go for WrestleMania. Because I think that's a really good. I mean, we never got the Shield triple threat at a WrestleMania, so you might as well get the New Day, right?
Yeah, no, I think it would have to be a triple threat. I know Biggie and Kofi's like the sexier match because they're the two former world champions, but you can't leave out Woods. What is it going to be, the referee? Like it would have to
Yeah.
be Kofi and Woods would have to turn on each other or tease tension with each other between now and then, which is fine. I know they were together on
True.
Monday's Raw, but like if they were to do that, if it were to get us to a triple threat at Mania, then I'm okay with that. And that's
Yeah.
like the perfect send off for Big E or the perfect comeback match for Big E. That would
Nice.
be a big attraction. That doesn't need a championship to feel special. So yeah, totally. We got a legacy triple threat at Mania back in 2010. Never got that Shield triple threat, but we could get a New Day triple threat in 2015. Or I'm sorry, 2025.
Yeah. I mean, that legacy joint. It was all right, was it? Like it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was good, but like it was like second on the card.
Yeah.
Orton won. No one really benefited. Like, Cody's a star now, but it wasn't because of that feud. I mean, Ted DiBiase got fired a couple of years later, so I already left.
And Orton
So
was white hot at this
he was
time.
white hot. I mean, that to be fair, at least the one good thing to come out of Legacy. I mean, Cody Rhodes is a star now, but like in that immediate aftermath of it, because they were hoping like Rhodes would be
Yeah.
a big star, DiBiase specifically. They put him in the fucking
Mhm.
Marine too. They thought he was going to be like this big future world champ. Never even came close to that. But like Orton at least was a white hot baby face, and he never
Yeah.
really was. I don't think he's ever been as over as a baby face as he was then until like maybe this year or last year. Other
Mhm.
than that, I don't think he's ever been that over in his entire fucking career as a baby face.
Nah. I mean, your boy got to prepare for Kevin Owens at a main event, Saturday night main event.
Yes,
So,
he does.
I mean, listen, social is. I'm even saying, man, that could be the night they pull the trigger and put the belt on KO. So, are
I'd
you
like to see
nervous?
it. I'm nervous. Listen, if Kevin Owens won the belt, I'd be happy to see it. I don't think it would last more than maybe a month. I think he'd probably lose it
Fine,
pretty
Rumble.
quickly.
I don't care.
But listen, fuck it, dude. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I want to see Attitude Era level title changes every month. Um,
Mm,
but I think we can benefit. Not, it's got to be a happy medium. The Jey Uso thing I loved. Like, I'm a long title reign guy, but not everyone needs to have a year-long title run. We get that
right.
so much to the point where that's not even special. Um, Steve Austin was champion how many times? 6, 7, 8 times because he lost the belt so quickly. And there were a couple
Five,
month, like a few
6.
month-long title runs. He was never champion for more
Yeah.
than 6 months at a time, and that was like
Mhm.
really long for him. For Cody, he's been champion since April. And it would also give him something to chase. You can run back Cody and KO. The feud's been great. You can get more mileage out of it beyond Saturday night's main event. Have KO win.
Yeah.
I maintain that he probably will never win a world title in WWE again. But again, one of those things I'd love to be fucking wrong on. So, and it would also make that first Saturday night's main event special feel special. Like it would make it feel like a big deal. Like, holy shit, the title changed hands. I got to watch the next one next month on January 25th, whenever they're doing it. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, we'll see what they got in store. But I think KO will still lose that match, and maybe they run it back and Cody wins again. It's like the AJ thing where AJ lost both matches to Cody. And KO already lost to Bash in Berlin. So he's going to be doing a lot of losing. But, the feud's been great. I'm looking forward to the match.
And that's why I say have KO win because Cody got one up in Berlin.
Yep.
KO can get his,
I agree.
revenge back, and then you do
Mhm.
a third off at the Rumble, and that's it. Then you have
Listen,
Orton involved somehow, and
yeah, I think that'd be excellent. I don't think they are going to do that, but I think that would be awesome, and that would be the way to go. I don't think they're going to do that, but that's what I would do as well.
so what are we doing with CM Punk going forward, man? I think there's a lot. Him, Roman, Survivor Series. People are like, "Ooh, I'd rather have Punk and Roman than Punk and Seth." Then you see Seth coming out and Punk with the promo on Monday, and Punk is like, "Listen, you had something that I wanted months ago. You ain't got that no more. So I'm moving on. My path is Rumble, main event, WrestleMania. What do you got?" So it's a lot of story to kind of be told, but um, do you? I think we have to get Punk and Seth first. Before we get to Punk and Roman down the road, because now Paul Heyman owes CM Punk a favor for
Mhm.
tag teaming with them with the Bloodline at Survivor Series. What do you think the favor could be or should be? And the fact that now there's different avenues for Punk going forward for Rumble and WrestleMania.
It's either, I mean, I assume it's a title opportunity. I'm not sure how many things it possibly could be, aside from him just saying, like, I want you to be my wise man again. I want you to be my advocate in Punk's corner. Like, I could see that too, but I don't really know if that's a favor unless he needs backup. I mean, I could
Mhm.
I could see it. I think it's probably more logistically. I think it would make sense if it was a title match.
Okay.
Um, but that would be weird though, because Punk is like, oh, I need to get to Mania. I got to win the Rumble. I got to win the Chamber. So let's say he loses. I'll get to what I think is going to happen in a second. But let's say he loses the Rumble. He loses the Chamber. He gets a title shot anyway because he has a favor. Then why wouldn't he have cashed in on that sooner? So that doesn't make sense to me. He said he was going to be in the Rumble. He didn't say he was going to be in the Rumble, but he kind of made it sound like he would be. What I think they could do here, because you summed it up well a moment ago when you said Rollins and he wants the match with Punk, and Punk's like, you don't have what I want. I thought that made perfect fucking sense. That makes perfect sense. Why the fuck would Punk want to face this guy that has been obsessed with him for years? He has nothing that he wants. He doesn't give a shit about Seth Rollins. He gives a shit about making money, doing
Mhm.
big business, and winning championships. Rollins is a big name, but he's not the champion. So I feel like they could cash in on the favor on the Sooner side.
Mm,
And I'd seen other people say also the favorite could be like a main event at Mania. I mean, how the fuck would Heyman even have that pull? That doesn't even, I don't know. That just doesn't make sense to me. I would
yeah.
love to see a main event WrestleMania, but what, like him and Rollins non-title main event? Probably not. I just don't see that happening. Or like a main event with Roman Reigns. I also don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it could be him getting a title opportunity
Hmm.
at the Rumble or on the first Raw on Netflix. Now, I don't think it's that show because they're doing Gunther and Balor next weekend and at Saturday night's main event. And then you would have to kind
Yeah.
of build up Punk and Gunther pretty quickly. And then like Christmas is around that time. So I don't really think they're going to do it on the first Raw on Netflix. That's what I thought. Maybe at the Rumble. Um, but before Punk can beat Gunther, I don't like the interference in Gunther's matches. I don't want that to become a constant thing. But Rollins can interfere, cost Punk the match, and saying, "Listen, you don't want to face me now? Fuck you. I'm going to cost you the title, and you're going to want to face me at WrestleMania. You're going to want to face me on the biggest show of the year." A la what it makes me think of is Taker and Shawn from 2010, where Taker was like, "Dude, no, I'm not facing you in a rematch. Why would I face you again? I
Yeah.
gain nothing from facing you. I'm the world heavyweight champion." So Shawn was like, "All right, fine, fuck it. I'm going to win the Rumble." Then he didn't. "I'm going to cost you the title," which he did. And that led to Taker being like, "All right, you know what? Fine, I'll face you at Mania. But if I beat you,
Right.
you're over." Like, it was a great story. I could see them doing something similar to that. I still think we're getting Punk and Rollins at Mania. I don't think you can move on to Punk and Roman before you could do Punk and Rollins. And I don't think, could you do it for the title and have Punk win the belt before then or Rollins win the belt before then? Yes, but then what do you do with Gunther? Do you do Gunther and Goldberg at Mania? I don't want to see that at
Yeah.
WrestleMania. That's a fucking 5 minute Saudi match. That's not a Mania match to me personally, but maybe they changed my mind. I don't know. But yeah, that's where I think they're going with it. Punk goes for the belt or attempts to win the Rumble. Rollins cost him that opportunity, and he makes him want to face him at WrestleMania.
What about the favorite is Punk wanting Paul Heyman to go back with him? Leave the bloodline, leave Roman Reigns, come manage me again, like good old times. And then that's how you build the story with him and Roman. Because
Mhm.
listen, there's a lot you could do. Punk could win the Rumble. Um, I think at this point in time, does it matter if it's a World Heavyweight Championship or the belt Cody got, or does it matter? Does he want the main title, which is Cody's title? You could do Punk and Cody at WrestleMania. Um, uh, it's a lot. I don't think you get Punk and Roman this fast. I think
I don't think
that
so either. No.
that could be SummerSlam worthy. Let that boil, let that stir for a little bit. And then Paul would, I wouldn't say turn on Roman. I just think he'll just leave Roman. Not like what he did Brock and Big Show at the Garden at Survivor Series. Not like that. But like just going back, my I've done everything for you, Tribal Chief. It's been great. Da da da. I think we're good. I'm gonna go back with Punk, and Punk will be a heel at some point in time. He's a better heel than a good guy. So just waiting for that. I think a lot of guys are better as heels than good guys. But I mean, I just feel bad for. I feel like Seth is always, when it comes to Mania, it's like, damn, what do we do with this guy? He's probably one of the best people we got in this whole company, and it's like it's always a question mark about who does
Hmm.
he get, and is he on night one? Is he the main event? He's never main evented WrestleMania, so he can fight for that too. Like, bro, like I want a main event too. You've been
On
gone for
his
10
own. I mean,
years.
he was the main event this year, but that was a tag team match, so it wasn't like the match.
Yeah, but I mean, are people counting that as
Technically, yeah. Technically,
Okay,
yes. But is it a singles match? No, it's not.
right,
Would I count it? Yes. Would I say it's what it could be? No.
yeah,
Technically, Jimmy Uso main evented fucking WrestleMania, so
that's right.
in a tag team match. So,
Kevin Owens back to back main events.
God bless. Hey, that makes sense to me. Sami Zayn as well. Like, good for him. So
uh, yeah, so I think Punk story is interesting. We'll see where that goes with him and Seth, and I think no matter what, everything boils down to Roman Reigns. Every story you're seeing right now is all connecting to
I
this
love
guy,
that. I
and
love that. He's the main
I,
character,
I
man.
really noticed that people kept saying on social, like, "Yo, like Sammy, Jay, Now Drew McIntyre's back. Now I think he attacked Jey Uso. Like, all right, what do you do with Drew McIntyre coming back? There's Punk, there's Rollins, there's the Bloodline 2.0, there's The Rock, there's Paul Heyman, there's Punk. I'm like, oh shit, there's a lot going on. Like,
And a
and
lot
it
of it
all it
revolves
all
around the
comes down to
bloodline.
one guy.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. They found their main character, and it's not like Roman is I mean, he is the focal point, but like all this other stuff also feels important. It's not like when
Yeah,
Roman was the champion and he beat everyone and then they were all facing each other for the consolation prize on Raw. Like that was fucking lame. Like they all look like losers. And now Roman's actually losing more. Like Solo beat him, so Solo has some credibility to a certain extent.
yeah,
And that's you're not even mentioning the whole inner turmoil with the bloodline itself, with like Solo and Jacob and The Rock, and where does he fit in? Everything revolves around the bloodline. They've done such a great job with this. I mean, I think it probably is the best story they've ever told in this company. I mean, to me, honestly, it is. I mean, it's been a 4-year long story, has had its highs and lows, but it's even more interesting now than it's been in years because there's so many different directions you can go. Roman's a babyface, but he's still an asshole, hasn't apologized.
that's right.
Drew and Owens are right about a lot of things. Rollins might be turning heel. He's right, but they're kind of the bad guys though in all of this. A lot of moving parts, and I fucking
Yeah.
love it. I think it's must see television right now.
And I was happy that Sammy did say on live TV, "Hey Seth, this guy is an asshole because of you.
Yep, he
It's your
doesn't trust
fault,
people
buddy."
because of him. Listen, I don't think Roman. You can check the tape. I don't think Roman in 10 years, 12 years of being in this company, if you go back to the Shield debut, has ever betrayed anyone. I think he is always like, I know he fired Heyman at one point, but
True.
I think that might have been a ruse. I forgot what the explanation was there, but I don't think he actually betrayed. I mean, I guess that was a betrayal, but like Rollins turned on him. When Ambrose turned heel, he didn't attack Roman because he just got sick with the leukemia, but like he technically betrayed the Shield. Roman did turn heel, but like he didn't really betray anyone in doing that. Jay betrayed him. Jimmy betrayed him. Solo betrayed him. Sammy betrayed him. Seth betrayed him. I mean, the list goes on and on and on for a decade now of all these people that have fucked him over, and he has trust issues because of that. And that
Mhm.
is what created the character that we're seeing today. It's a great story. And he's not a perfect character either, because again, he has yet to apologize for the wrong shit that he did when he was on top, which I've taken exception to. It's like, well, why would Sammy want to team with him if he's not really sorry for what he did?
Yeah.
Um, but they haven't, like, it's not like Roman's out there as the big dog again from 5 years ago. Like that would be lame.
No.
So they're taking their time with it. I like what they're doing.
So you wouldn't count him Superman punching Heyman as a betrayal, or
I mean, it's tough. I don't know if it was meant to be, because Heyman ended up getting back with him a month later. So I don't think that was. I forgot what they said. Like if what the reason for that was. Was that always the plan? Like was it a faked firing where he fired him on purpose so he can reunite with Lesnar, and then he turned on Lesnar just to kind of give him a false sense of security? I forgot how they explained that, because he got back with him a month later. So I don't know if it was really
yeah,
a betrayal. It's not like he turned on him. He told him like, listen, you're with Brock Lesnar. And again, trust issues. That whole feud with Brock, between Roman and Brock, fuck the shit from like 10 years ago. That shit sucked. Aside from that one Mania match, a Mania 31. The feud they had a couple of years ago, people can give it shit. The feud itself was awesome. The Mania 38 match was okay. The last man standing match was great. But the
yeah,
feud itself was great, because the whole thing was, is he aligned with Roman or is he aligned with Brock? And he ended up going back with Roman, but only after Roman fired him, because he didn't trust Heyman. He thought Heyman was working against him. He was in cahoots with Lesnar, and he ended up
mhm,
reuniting with Lesnar anyway. Again, there's so many layers there, but he didn't trust him because he has trust issues. I love that about the
yeah,
character. I think it's great. He's infinitely more interesting now than Roman has been in 5 years. Like the big dog shit when he was out there fucking eating dog food and whatever. I mean, that shit was bottom tier crap.
yeah. But before I wrap up in a few, main event, they added some matches, so we do get Cody and KO for the title. We do have Finn Balor and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
We do have Liv Morgan and Io for the Women's World Title, and then the finals for the Women's United States Championship. So right now, there's four on the card. Um,
Yes,
could they add one more? By sure,
they
but
could. Yeah.
Finn Gunther. Like, first of all, w- why did why are we going back to Finn and Damien? I hope not.
Nah,
Finn
we
causes
are.
Damien.
We are.
Say what?
We are. We are going back to it.
But why? Like
I don't
why?
know.
Are you on the camp of Gunther's reign is like the IC title reign was better than the World Heavyweight Championship reign?
Yes. Yes,
Is there a
definitely.
reason why you think?
I mean, I think the IC title reign was perfect. I mean, he had the final boss type character, all respect to The Rock, all due respect to The Rock, but Gunther in a lot of ways was the final boss. He had some better matches. As World Heavyweight Champion, he had that great match with Sammy on Raw. The match in Bash in Berlin was excellent with Randy Orton. The match with Cody was great. He lost. They're doing this story, and I guess they kind of have to, where he feels vulnerable because he lost to Cody clean. He lost to Sammy at Mania. He needed interference from Finn at Survivor. Would he have won without Finn Balor interfering at Survivor Series or SummerSlam? We don't know. We haven't been told that story yet, so I'm not sure. And the match was good at Survivor Series. That finish was fucking terrible. I don't care about Finn and Damien going back to that. They finished it. He beat him clean. Why go back to it? They moved away from it. Now they're going back. Who gives a shit? Yeah, the Gunther reign has been good. I'm not going to say it's been like terrible. It's been slightly underwhelming, a little bit, because he's not the focal point currently. The bloodline stuff going back and forth, and Rollins and Bronson Reed and Punk, all that stuff is a bigger deal than Gunther on Raw right now. That is a fact. They have to make him the focal point of that show and do a better job of telling that story with him feeling like a threat again. He's got to get his mojo back and go out there and kill Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I'm not
Yeah.
convinced they're doing that because, again, even Finn and Damian is the bigger focal point than Gunther himself. He feels like the third guy right now. He feels like the third wheel in that feud. So they have to go back to making Gunther feel like the focal point. He was headlining more fucking Raws as Intercontinental Champion than I think so far as World Heavyweight Champion. Again, check the tape on that, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. And that's a problem. That kind of devalues the title itself too, the world title. So they got to do a better job with booking Gunther for sure.
Yeah, I listen. I don't want to go back to Finn and Priest.
Nope.
I think the Judgment Day as a whole, the time is running out. We just saw Dominic get destroyed by Gunther on Raw. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's that's a weird scenario to kind of figure out. Like, what does Gunther do going forward? Is Goldberg in sight? Is Brock Lesnar in his sights? Yeah, I know he mentioned about fighting with Brock at some point, and Damien is like, all right, I'm a World Heavyweight Championship contender, but it's like I don't think they're gonna drop the belt off of Gunther, anytime soon. So it's a lot going on that side.
No, I agree. He could lose it soon. We don't know. I'm looking forward to Gunther and Balor. I mean, I know they had a match on Raw a few months ago, but I think that could be a good match if they're given time. Honestly, we don't even need a fifth match for that Saturday night's main event. Maybe we get Knight and Nakamura too, and Knight gets the belt back. I could see that. We'll find out on SmackDown on Friday.
No, we're not giving the belt back. No, we're not doing that.
Yes, we are. Oh, yes, we
you
are.
want LA Knight to regain the title why?
I don't give a shit about Nakamura as United States champion.
Well,
I really
other
don't.
People do.
Some people do, but I think the heel turn, it's cool. Like the heel, he was already a heel. The repackaging is cool.
Yeah.
I have been given no reason to care about Nakamura as a mid-card champion in this company. No other run that he's had in this company has been good. I know that fell under Vince, but like the guys, it's Nakamura at this point. Like what you get is what you get. There's not even any interesting challengers for him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't care. If he can go out there and have these kick-ass matches and really make that title mean something, then great. Knight was out there defending the belt every week. He's fucking over. I don't really think he needed to ruin a good thing unless he gets the belt right back. I don't know. I like, who would Nakamura even lose it to? Fucking Giovanni Vinci? Like, I don't even know who he would lose it to. So I don't know. I don't really care about it personally, but that's, maybe I'm in the minority here.
Who would he lose it to? U.S. title.
I mean, not Andrade. He beat Andrade last week, so.
Not Carmelo.
Probably not Carmelo. Who do they even have as baby faces? Unless it's right back to Knight. Orton is busy. Cody's the world champion.
Mm-hmm.
KO just turned heel.
There's no
AJ Styles.
No. Maybe.
Again, Nakamura, been there, done that a lot, so we don't need that again.
I mean, you haven't seen AJ in how long? Quite a while.
I mean, he got hurt and then he came back and then he got hurt again.
I mean, listen, sometimes the first go around ain't always the best. Like Nakamura and AJ from What was that?
6 years ago.
34 in New Orleans?
It's a long time.
I mean, listen, a 2025 Nakamura AJ go around. I would not be mad about that. Would not be mad
I
about
wouldn't be
that.
upset, but I don't really think that's the direction. Also, I don't need to say AJ is United States champion either. He belongs in the main event at this point. If AJ's wrapping up in the next year or so, he should be in the main. Like that stuff with Cody was awesome. I need more of that. AJ and Gunther, give me that shit. Don't give me fucking AJ Nakamura for the upteenth time. At this
Nah,
point, who cares?
we need this Nakamura being strong, maybe through Mania. AJ comes back, and now you build to Nakamura and then AJ.
You bookmark that, and we'll get back to it, and we'll see
That's
if
right.
that's even remotely close to what they're doing. If
Oh,
they do that, I will give you all the credit in the world. I do not see this Nakamura shit working out at all. Either he drops it immediately, or this reign's going to be fucking awful.
mhm.
Just saying. Just saying.
Nope, I don't care about the feud between Finn and Damian, and I even care less about Liv and Rhea Ripley feud. How do you feel about Liv and Rhea
I
right now?
enjoyed the feud, but they got to wrap it up, and I think they will. I think they're doing Liv and Io at Saturday night's main event, so I don't think Io wins the belt. I think Liv and Rhea have their last match on the first Raw on Netflix, and Rhea wins there. You can't wait until the Rumble. Do not wait until Mania. That would be
Mhm.
ridiculous. The feud has been it's overstayed its welcome at this point. It's December. It started and it's been going on for years now, but like it really started up again when Liv turned heel in May. So
Mhm.
it's been a long story. We got to move on to other challengers here. So yeah, that's got to wrap up imminently.
Real quick, your quick thoughts on Survivor Series.
Enjoyed it. I thought it was a fine show. Probably the weakest show of the year, to be honest with you. It wasn't
Mhm.
like a terrible show. It was definitely underwhelming overall. I thought the main event was great. I thought the triple threat for the IC title was great. Women's War Games was not great. Nakamura and Knight was fine. I didn't like the title change, but that's just me.
Haha.
Fine match. And then what was the other match? Gunther and Priest, I thought was fine. A solid match.
Mhm.
And hated the finish. I thought the Balor interference sucked. It's just so lazy. We just saw that at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought the show was. I thought it was good. It was probably. I just recently ranked all the PLEs that WWE did this year, and I think I had that dead last. To be honest with you,
Survivor Series? Wow.
yeah, and I think that's just because all the other shows, some were fantastic, they were
Mhm.
just all just better. It's not.
Mhm.
It wasn't like the worst. Like, dude, this is not 2019. I could tell you 20 other pay-per-views that were worse than what we got last weekend. But
Yeah.
by recent Triple H standards, we have gotten better shows than what we got at Survivor Series, especially this year.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, listen, when I was watching it, obviously I was at the watch party, so it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to hear the crowd
Yeah,
and
sure. Yeah.
their reaction. But I thought the women's match was okay. A couple spots I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
like Nia hitting with the soft chair shots.
Awful. Yeah, that looked terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, they got on her for that, but she's trying to be safe, and I get it. But
Yeah, yeah, it is what it is. I mean,
I
whatever.
think to your point, maybe that should have been just a regular 5-on-5 Survivor Series match and not a War Games match.
Yeah.
The main event was dope. I like the whole story with Punk trying to get out and Roman stopping him, and it's like, oh, what's going on? Like, and it has like the most Instagram views of 2024 any
Hmm.
post. So people are clamoring for Roman and CM Punk at some point in time. The World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, I was going for Damian. I'm like, okay, so who was the guy that's gonna take down Gunther? The reign doesn't mean as much right now. And they got to do something with that. The you know Nakamura winning U.S. title. I said that night before. I said, listen, I think Nakamura is going to win it. I think it's time to get off the LA Knight train for a little bit, and that's what happened. Braun Breaker, IC title. That's the match I have to see over again because I was kind of busy during that match.
Hmm.
But I heard it was crazy. Kaiser and Sheamus and Braun did their thing. Kaiser going to be, I think, an integral part in Gunther's story going forward because you might get them two down the road. We never know.
Good.
But like overall, it was just there. Not like like it didn't like set the tone for main event or Netflix or whatever. It's just like, all right, done. We out. Now we'll go back to Raw. And so it was all right for me. Survivor Series. It was all right.
It was all right. Yeah, just I think they've had better shows this year. But again, it's
Yeah.
not a knock on Survivor Series. I think it's more of a case of just they've had much better pay per views this year. Like this year, we didn't have the paybacks or the fucking fast lanes and shit like that. Like those shows were replaced by the international shows, and those
Yeah.
crowds were phenomenal. Like Vancouver was good when the show was good, but like even Bash in Berlin was better. Clash of the Castle, Backlash was amazing. All those crowds were excellent. Even the Saudi shows this year were not awful. Some of them they were actually pretty decent. So the King and Queen of the
Yeah.
Ring and Crown Jewel was pretty good too. So overall, that's a pretty good indictment on the WWE PLE schedule in 2024. That all these shows were at least good to great. So it's a good problem to have.
What did you have as the number one show for the year?
Take a guess.
Um, the Backlash in France.
Good answer. I had that at 2. I put Mania at 1.
Oh, night
Well, I had
2.
both. I just include both. I mean, to me,
Oh,
it's the
WrestleMania
same.
41.
I know it's 2 nights, but I just
Yeah.
included this one pay-per-view. But yeah, no, I thought WrestleMania this year was the best that they've had overall in
Mhm.
years. I mean, night 1 was weaker, but night 2 was amazing, and overall, I thought it was a better package. I think, especially with the moments like Sami Zayn winning the title, all the other shit they did. Cody winning getting his moment. The cash in
Yeah.
was great. It was a new era in a lot of ways, and I thought Mania was phenomenal. So they've really set the stage for next year to kind of they've set the bar to top it, which I don't know if they will, but we'll see.
Yeah. So next week we got main event. I know we're gonna try to tap in before that happens. If not, we'll just get on to review it. Anything else I missed from Raw, Survivor Series, SmackDown? Anything
I don't
else?
think so. I think we nailed him.
Okay. I know, I feel bad about not mentioning AEW, but it's like at some
And
point
there's
in
nothing
time.
to let me tell you, dude. There's nothing to talk about. There is not. If there was, I'd tell you.
I mean,
It's
when
not a
we saw
Houston random.
Bischoff on NXT, that was something a little
That was
different.
fucking random. It was cool, but it's like he didn't do anything. He was just there. Like he just talked
True.
some
I thought he was
shit.
gonna be like GM for the night, or
I
I
know he
don't.
didn't do anything. He just came out and was like, "Oh, NXT is great," and then they just moved him aside, and then that was it. He didn't do shit. We got to got to hear the music again. So that was cool.
Uh,
I like Bischoff, but it's just fucking random.
I seen Jada Parker going off on the microphone. That was
Yo,
tough.
Jada Parker's great, dude. She's
Yeah.
she's improved a lot. She's
Yeah.
really I've become a fan of her. She's very good, and she's got that star aura about her. Yeah, that shit what she was saying on there. I won't repeat it there, but I
Yeah.
think you saw it. It was very good.
Are you going to main event or no?
I'm trying to. We'll see if it's tight attendance. I might not be able to, and I also have a
Mm,
holiday party that day too. So I'm not really sure. I'm hoping to. I would
Yeah.
like to. I want to, but I don't know if I will. I'll probably find out next week by the time we speak next.
Yeah, I'll be out of town for that, so I couldn't even go even if I wanted to. So I'm like,
Yeah,
damn, the 14th. All right, well, holidays, family stuff. So I'm like, damn, I'm gonna miss main event, but I'm pretty sure
yeah.
they'll come back at some point in
I'm
time.
sure they will. Yeah,
They're gonna be in San Antonio on the 25th of January, so for I
saw
guess
that.
the next one. So
Mm-hmm.
that
It's
could be
cool.
interesting. I mean, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what's going on San Antonio, Texas wise, so you might get a little Shawn Michaels there, some other stuff
Mm-hmm.
going on. Um, but yeah, they got some interesting shows. The first Netflix coming up, Raw on Netflix. That's gonna be huge. Up in LA. Don't know what kind of matches they're gonna. I know they're gonna try to, you know, put everything out there. They have Roman, Cody, Punk. It's a lot going on. Are you excited for Raw on Netflix?
I am. I think it's going to be a big deal. They're making it feel like a big deal. I don't think the show will be dramatically different on Netflix. I don't think we're going to get the fucking Attitude Era back by any means. I don't think we need to. The
Yeah.
product's pretty strong as it is, but I'm not really focused on like the rating and shit. I don't really think that matters. I just focused on a good show, and if they keep the momentum with what they have now, I think it'll be fine. I'm not really stoked with them going back to 3 hours. I love the 2 hours. It
Oh
fucking
yeah.
breezes by and it's amazing. But
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to the Raw Netflix stuff for sure.
Well, Graham Matthews, Bleacher Report, Fan Sided, Daily DDT, at Wrestle Rant on Twitter. Find myself, Randy J. Cruz, RENDY, letter JCRUZ. Find the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also on Amazon Music. Go to youtube.com/ Cruise Control Podcast. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show some love and support for your boys on the program. For myself, Randy Cruz, Graham Matthews, 2 out of 3 Falls Podcast. Graham, love you, bro. Appreciate it. I know what's happening soon.
Much love, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Take it easy.
You too. Adios.
All right.